Almost yeah. It's 4 p.m. In New Delhi, and it is 5:30 a.m. here in Washington D.C. areas. So even earlier than that in Virginia. So we welcome you on. All of you have joined us, and all of you are who will be joining us. Today is Saturday, the January the 22nd, 2022. So on behalf of the Chananda Culture Society, uh, namaskar, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Very nice to be with you today. We have a very um, exciting agenda, program, you can say bouquet of light that we have prepared for you that I'm sure you will enjoy it today. We'll be starting a new um, series of workshops on what is called the strategy of light and darkness. I'll talk a little bit more about it when we come to that point, but this is going to be something ongoing because the topic is so vast, so big, and so personal, and you can say that all of us are involved in that. So you might be you I think probably will be good thing that we are doing, that we are kind of going on little by little to cover out of 33 strategies of light and 33 strategies of darkness. We take 4 or 5 at a time, and we talk about them. We discuss that. We have an interactive session with which each time and with each strategy, and how we are involved in that at conscious level, at unconscious level, at subconscious level. So I think it's going to be a very exciting journey together. So having said that, let's start with the first things first. Jay, can we display the invocation from our messenger Guruma, and then we can play that also.
O thou infinite light, intensify thy presence in each heart. Take us to the very heart of Lord Krishna. Take us to the heart of Brahma. Take us to the heart of Vishnu. Take us to the heart of Shiva. Take us to the heart of Saraswati. Take us to the heart of Lakshmi. Take us to the heart of Durga. Take us to the heart of the great Kali. O universal light, transport our souls to the Shambhala of the East, that we might be the anchoring point east and west for the new translation of the ancient teachings. I call in this hour for the binding of the false hierarchy of India and of Hinduism. I demand the binding of all false gurus and false chelas. Let the followers of the great avatars intensify their light. Let all those in the etheric octaves draw nigh. Let the full power of the world religion of the Divine Mother descend upon us in this hour. Let the 4 quadrants of being be redefined, and let the power of the white flame rise upon the altar from the base unto the crown. Transport us, O God, to that point where high in the Himalayas the physical octave merges with the etheric, to the hearts of the true adepts and their devotees, even as this Western Shambhala is the place where the physical and the etheric octaves blend. O God, let us be the anchor points here and at Lake Titicaca for the manifestations of Himalaya the god and goddess Meru, Lord Devasvatam Manu, and the great divine director. O devotees of Himalaya, O devotees in the cave of light, O devotees who have held now the traditions of India since long before the sinking of Atlantis, enter our hearts, O mighty Brahman, restore us to the Word with thee in the beginning. Come forth, Brahman. By the power of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, in the heart of the Divine Mother, we are sealed in this meditation.
I'd like to welcome you, all of you who have joined. Welcome, Okezi, my friend. Yeah, namaskar. Yeah, welcome Raneji, JP Sahab, Alkaji, Dr. Ranjit Pooja Nikhale ji, Shabia ji, Rita ji, Hannah ji, Satija ji, and we have Anita Viralam. So that's what I see on my screen so far. I will be pausing again and welcoming you as more of you join. So we're going to begin with our what we call is Saint Germain's meditation. I have not played this particular meditation before. This is something that we do not have to have anything on the screen to display, so you can actually be closing or do this thing with your eyes closed. And the beautiful thing that, of course, it happens in all the Saint Germain's meditation that we have. I have about 6 of them, and this is the kind of one that is kind of not too long, not too short. Most of them are about 6 minutes to 7-8 minutes. This is about 12 minutes longer. I have something longer than that also. So in this particular meditation, Saint Germain is leading it. Saint Germain leads this meditation through Guru Ma's voice, and he says that at one point, and then he says, okay, then of course, in the Guru Ma's voice, Guru Ma's voice is very soft and very, very gentle. You can feel that like she's in the secret chamber of the heart in her 8th ray chakra, and so Saint Germain is chanting some mantras, like 4 of them, I think, and more than one time. So you can repeat that each time. If you feel comfortable, you can write those mantras down so you can use them later on, also for your own chanting, for your own during all your own meditation. So this is something that you will like it. As I said before, you will hear that mantra first time, and then you'll be able to catch. It's 1-line mantra only, so it's not really more than 1 line. You'll be able to remember that, and you can write it down. Then you can chant it as with Guru Ma also. So also, I think this will be something that you will like it. You will love it. It's very, very beautiful for calming of the mind, calming of the heart energies, calming of the soul, and also bringing us in with unison with our I am presence. I am that I am. So having said that, let's go on to that. I'd like to welcome Devina and the family. I'd like to welcome Mohini ji also. So Jay, my friend, let's play that audio meditation by Guru Ma by Saint Germain.
I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. I am the resurrection and the life of God's purity in me now. Come, Holy Spirit, enlighten me. 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 O Holy Spirit, come unto 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 me. Seraphim of God, legions of Astrea, encircle us round about. Spin the circle and sword of blue flame around each chakra, each of our four lower bodies, our soul. Mighty Astrea, encircle now all pain of the heart, all sorrow, crying, death, and dying. Mighty Astrea, encircle the heart in this hour. Mighty Astrea, encircle the heart in this hour. Mighty Astrea, cut free from all density, cut free from all stubbornness and human will, disobedience, stubbornness and defiance of the law of love of the heart. We call upon the blue lightning of the mind of God and the violet flame from the living heart of Arcturus. Clear now these heart chakras, for I am Saint Germain in the fullness of the violet flame. I am directing the intensity of my heart as a beacon of violet ray into the hearts of my chelas, who attend me, who worship God, who love freedom, who serve. I am saturating these hearts for the clearing of all density and darkness. by the light of the threefold flame of the entire spirit of the Great White Brotherhood, I am touching the divine spark in every heart, so inclined to the divine ear and the central sun. Let the quickening take place, and by the fire within that is burning, let the fat of human selfishness, density and lust be consumed. Let the fire burn clean. Let the circle and sword of blue flame perform the perfect work of the great Kali. Out of the living heart of Shiva come forth Devas and angels of Shiva. Shiva, come forth for the purging. Souls, surrender now that which ought never to have been. The out of alignment state through inordinate desiring. Let shafts of white fire from seraphim strip all who desire to be rid of the fat of human selfishness, self-idolatry and vanity. Let all these things melt from the heart by the power and fire of seraphim and salamanders. Violet flame angels, come. Violet flame angels, come. Violet flame angels, come. O soul received by the bridegroom, remember thy meditation deep within the sphere of being, the pearl of light, deeper and deeper into the heart of consciousness, deeper and deeper into the oneness of the white fire core of being. There from that moment, there from that presence, contemplate the I am that I am. Lo, I am that I am, O God. 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 Let my heart be thy heart. 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 O I am presence, let thy forgiveness descend through my Christ, my husband. O beloved I am presence, let thy forgiveness descend through my Christ, my husband. O my beloved I am presence, let thy forgiveness descend through my Christ, my husband. O my beloved mighty I am presence, let thy forgiveness descend through my Christ, my husband. O my beloved mighty I am presence, let thy forgiveness descend through my Christ, my husband. O thou forgiving heart, O thou forgiving heart, have mercy upon me, O God. 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 Have mercy upon me, O God.
I'd like to explain. Actually, everything was pretty much clear. The single line chanting mantras or fiat, we call them fiat, F-I-A-T, fiat. Fiat is like short, short mantra. We call it fiat in as a master terminology. This one particular fiat was just one before last one. Oh my mighty I am presence, let thy forgiveness descend through my Christ, my husband. So you might be thinking, what is the meaning of this particular husband, word husband, and through my Christ, my husband. So I just wanted to kind of go over with you. The meaning of Christ is, of course, not the Jesus Christ, but the Christ self or the Atma. So who's chanting this? Who's saying that? Through my husband. So actually Christ is our Atma. Atma in Hindu Sanskrit terminology, Atma is the word for higher mind. And Jivatma is the word for soul, which is a lower mind, which is the part of the Atma that is not connected with the Atma yet. It was connected, but we are trying to reconnect the Jivatma with Atma. That is a part of, we call it in different religions, Namdan, or Namdan Baksho. We pray to God, give me your name back. And the Namdan is called, Nam is really the name, or the word is really the other terminal, other way of addressing the higher self or the Atma. So my husband is really, they call the soul is the bride. Jivatma is the bride, and the Atma is the husband. So Atma is the male, and Jivatma is the female. So that is the reason why we call the Jivatma is yearning for husband or bridegroom, which is Atma. So, oh my mighty I am presence. So mighty I am presence is the name of God I am, or the Paramatma we call it in our chart of the presence. If you can remember, there are three figures: the top one, the middle one, and the bottom one. The top one is called the I am presence or Paramatma. Middle one is called the Atma, and the lower one, which you are standing, I am standing there, that is the Jivatma. So the Jivatma, the lowest, the third one, is calling to the top one, the very top figure with the I am, oh my I am presence, to that one. Let thy forgiveness, so forgiveness, the light of forgiveness, let's call it violet flame. Let your violet flame descend through my through so through my Christ self, through the middle figure, which is the mediator between the bottom figure and the top figure. So that is something that you want to kind of visualize that, conceptualize that in your mind, that the I am presence is the guru. In the Christianity they call it father, son. Middle picture is called the son, and the third picture is called the violet flame around that person is called the Holy Spirit. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is same thing as Paramatma, Atma, and Jivatma. So those are these kind of things that you want to connect ourselves. So I think I'll play it again some other time. I have, like as I said before, I have found a 6 hard meditation by Saint Germain. So they are all very good. I'll be playing them, from time to time, and I'll come back to this one again. So now we're going to move on to our main thing, main entree, so to speak, of about the strategies of light and darkness. So let me see if see anyone who has joined us, and then we can begin our program as we have decided today, as we have planned today. Okay, Jay, can you have that 4-page long document? I have mailed it to everyone. I've emailed it, and Poonam has also posted it on the WhatsApp group. So I think it'll be good to have that. If you can have it right now, it's all right. If you can print it, later on and look at it, and you can take some notes. What I will be sharing with you from that document. The document is going to be our. The document is going to be our main thing every time we go over that. So today I'm going to cover this 33 strategy one by one, and I like to make it an interactive session. So I'll be pausing it, unlike before, because in this session I think I don't want to wait until the very last, when you can have your question. But so in every few minutes, my goal is to cover the whole thing within the next 45 minutes. Maybe 45 minutes is my target. So I will try to, every 15 minutes or so, I will pause and ask for your question. So you can have some question, and then you move on to the next thing. So that's the only thing we have today. The strategy of light and darkness. Please, if you have any question, you can jot them down, and when I you can put them in a chat room. That's probably even better. You can put your question in the chat room, and I can go back to the chat room, and I can answer the questions, every few minutes or so. So as we start our journey together. So here is something. This picture of Lord Maitreya here in the 33 strategies of light and darkness. The picture of Lord Maitreya there. Lord Maitreya is the guru of who was in the what you call the school, where Adam and Eve were there in the Garden of Eden, so to speak. That was, they were called Garden of Eden. He was the guru. He was the Maitreya. He is still there. He is still our guru. So this teaching is really very much connected with the heart of Lord Maitreya Buddha. Maitreya Buddha has some couple of quotations from Maitreya Buddha also that will connect us to his heart. So I'm going to make a prayer to Lord Maitreya to invoke his presence with us. In the name of the I am that I am, beloved Lord Maitreya Buddha, our Guru and our initiator, we ask you to come and overshadow each one who is part of this session, this meeting, and all those who will be listening to this presentation later on YouTube, on Facebook later on, and whatever means, to help them reconnect with the inner mysteries of the mystery school of Garden of Eden, and in Lemuria that we were part of that as a part of Adam and Eve, as a part of the twin flame evolution long time ago. We ask you to please bring forth those uh, lost teachings, lost path, lost mysteries, lost initiations, so we may reconnect with your heart once more and pass our initiations by not making those same kind of mistakes that we accustomed to making and we made at that time. So we thank you for your hearing our prayer and answering it, beloved Guru of all of us, of every soul upon earth. So I'm going to say why 33 strategies. You might be thinking, there are actually many strategies of light and darkness. And the Mark Prophet and Elizabeth K. Prophet, they have put a book there. I think at the end of this session, I'll show you that where you can order that book, 33 Strategies of Light and Darkness. There was also a YouTube clip that one of our members, she has put together about 10-minute long clip on strategies of light and darkness. I have also that link on the bottom of this 4-page presentation. You can also listen to that. That will also give you some more some more food for thought for your soul also. So strategies are very important because I think Maitreya has said that. I'll be reading that little bit later. It is not important to know that you are who we are as the sons and daughters of God. So it's good to know that we are sons and daughters of God. That's only fun. That's only first thing. Next thing, we have to know that there is an enemy of light, which is darkness. So there is the forces of darkness, fallen angels who attack us, and that's what we get temptation and all that kind of things. So there is the forces of light, forces of darkness. So we are sons and daughters of God, but there is a force called anti-God. First thing, we are sons and daughters of God. Then there is second point is that there are also the enemies of sons and daughters of God, us. Then there is they have a strategy of the dark forces have a strategy to upset us, and we have to know that before we go to any battle, every general knows how to win the war or a battle. He has to have a strategy to outsmart the forces of darkness. So we are the generals. We have Archangel Michael, our general, but we are the planners as the sons and daughters of God to command those angels into sending them into battle. But we have to know what is the strategy of darkness before we can know the strategy of light to outsmart them. So that is the reason why the word strategy comes into the picture. Let's start. The first paragraph, introduction. The Ascended Masters have told us that there are strategies of darkness that the dark forces use to trip the light bearers in their spiritual progress. That's what very clear. The strategies of darkness that caused the downfall of the golden ages of Lemuria and Atlantis continue to work so well that the hosts of darkness have not needed to develop new ones. Something to ponder on about. In order for us to win the day and vanquish darkness, we need to understand these strategies and be ready with strategies of light when we need them in our daily lives. So each word in this, each sentence, each paragraph is really, you need to really read it slowly, study it, and then ponder it for a few minutes before you go to the next sentence. That's how I do. So I think we cannot take this teaching on what we are reading very lightly. Next one. In the book Strategies of Light and Darkness, Mark and Elizabeth Clare Prophet have outlined 33 strategies of darkness and 33 strategies of light to encounter them point, counterpoint. Please underline the word if you have in front of you note point, counterpoint. That is really 33. Each 33 strategy of darkness has a separate strategy of light to counter it. Lord Maitreya, picture above, who was the hierarch of the mystery school in Lemuria, known as the Garden of Eden, has advised us to know who and what we are up against in our spiritual progress. Who and what we are. He says, quote, "Beloved ones, you cannot fight and win any battle if you do not know your enemy. It is as simple as that." Then he says, "It is not enough to know your enemy. You must know the strategies of that enemy." Unquote. Jay, can we raise it up a little bit more? Now, the enemy of the forces of darkness have many forms and can exist in the physical plane as well as on the astral plane. Please make a note of that. You can see them, we cannot see them. In the physical plane, you can see them. In the astral plane, we don't see them. Darkness, broadly defined, includes not only individuals consciously tied to the left-handed path and the forces working through them, but also our own untransmuted lesser self or our own dweller on the threshold. I'm going to pause here for a minute. So that's why our dweller on the threshold is really our human self, our intellectual self, our not God self, you can say that one. Our habitual, that momentum from lifetime after lifetime that we have gathered, it lives between the subconscious mind and conscious mind in us, all of us. So it works through our thoughts, through our feelings, through temptation, through no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. That is a dweller. Is telling us. We don't see the dweller, but the dweller is in very much in our human mind. You know that. There's divine mind and there's a human mind. There's a divine mind and there is an intellectual mind. A lot of time people who study a lot of things, a lot of teaching, very thing, they know the books, they know this, they do that, they become controlled by the intellectual mind. Then they look everything through a microscope. ये हो सकता है, is it possible, is not be possible, is it God, is it not God, is it nature, is it not nature? They analyze everything to the nth degree. And that is what is called the dweller on the threshold, the intellectual mind. It's like, that's why it says you need to have a mind of a childlike mind, innocent mind, that does not go to the too much analysis of intellectual, of everything. So anyway, I'll continue that. Hierarchies of light and darkness. The title. It's very important. So there are hierarchies of light and there are hierarchies of darkness. Someone asked me other day, what are the people knew about the light hierarchies of light? Yes, we know that, because archangels, angels, Elohim, Master, Alpha and Omega, Ascended Masters. But there are also likewise there are hierarchies of darkness too. We do not know about them. Nobody, but they are Danav and Devta. You know the story. So they fight the battle of Danav and Devta that we say in our holy books. In Hinduism. So there are in the battle of the hierarchies of darkness are the Danavs. They call them the devils. So they also are very much organized. Please know that also. Okay, I'm going to read that. There is a hierarchy of light consisting of masters, angels, and representatives of the great white brotherhood. There is also a hierarchy of darkness consisting of angels of darkness. There are angels of darkness, please make a note of that, or fallen angels. I don't know how many of you are aware of that. When I was growing up, I thought all angels were good angels. I did not know that there were angels of darkness. So, that's something that opened up my eyes when I came to know about that. Continuing, Lord Maitreya gave us an additional insight. He says the fallen ones plan not for decades, but for centuries. He encourages us to do the same, to plan for decades, centuries, and millennia. So this is something that you want to know, that as we read earlier, the dark forces have a strategy. They do not need to change them. They have been using it again and again because they're working so successfully. So we have to also know that part, and then we have to acknowledge that the enemy, this is enemy. The dark forces is our enemy. If you are reclaiming your godhood, your Christhood, your lost paradise, we have to know that they have a long-term strategy, and we need to acknowledge that, and we have long-term strategies for ourselves. Don't take yourself too seriously. This is one thing very important. So that is something I think you want to make a note of that. When I read that, I said, well, we need to know that sometimes we take ourselves because, oh, the enemy is their enemy, they're this and that. Why we are, so people become very much like, serious faces, serious faces, forget to smile and forget to take the life as lightly as we should be taking. So I'm going to read that. And don't take yourselves too seriously or let the devil make you too serious. Happiness and laughter are of God effective weapons against devil. Again, I'm going to read that. Happiness and laughter are of God effective weapons against devil. And we study these strategies. As we study these strategies joyously, anchor yourself with serenity and supreme confidence in the light of God to overcome and to transcend. The Ascended Master present a path and a teaching whereby every individual can find his way back to God. So please know that Ascended Masters are our gurus, our brothers, our sisters. We were part of them in previous in lifetime. They were also walked the earth with us. So we had a divine families with them. Saint Germain, Almoria, Chananda, name any master. Even we were part of them. We are part of our families together. They have ascended, and they are our guides. They are our like family members. They are helping us. We can call to them for guidance. Next one, continuing. The strategies of darkness that caused the downfall of golden age of Lemuria and Atlantis continue to work so well that the hosts of darkness have not needed to develop new ones. In order for light in us to win, I think I read that before. How do these strategies apply to me? Now, this is something that you want to make a note of that. Because you might be thinking it does not apply to me. And this is where the dweller in us tells us, oh, this is not for me. This is for my friend, my brother, my mother, my sister, my this and that. But I'm doesn't apply to me. This is the way the dweller kind of plays the game with us. So I'm going to read that. All the strategies of the dark ones involve us personally. It is suggested to search our own lives and to see how these strategies apply to our lives in day-to-day world, so we can begin to understand it is most often the weakness in our own psychology that makes us vulnerable to these ploys. So masters have told us we have to work on our psychology. Psychology is really how our outlook towards ourselves and outlook towards life in general, how we perceive ourselves. So man, know thyself as who you really are, as real self, as his Sunday master teaching. Man knows yourself as a pure being, pure soul. But we cannot see ourselves with pure soul when we have our psychology impure. Psychology is a study, the prism through which we see, through which our soul sees ourselves. Our soul sees herself and sees the other people, the God and everything else around. So that is a very important part of our psychology. We have to be mindful of that. Kuthumi is a guru, as I mentioned to you. Kuthumi is a great psychologist. We can also call to Kuthumi as a master psychologist to heal our psychology. There's a decree to Kuthumi. I think it's a 7.10a, if I remember exactly. Kuthumi, this is only one decree to Kuthumi. You can give as many times, ask Kuthumi to heal your psychology. Okay, I'm going to read the bold letters. They're very important. That's why I made it bold. The challenge of darkness should not be feared or avoided. This is what we're talking about. We can be concerned about, can be afraid of that. Continuing, but neither should we go out of our way to seek it out. So don't be too bold, don't be too fearful. That's the message here. As we become more and more of the light, the confrontation with darkness will come to us. It is simply part of the spiritual path. Now, this is something I needed to explain. Some people think when you become more of the light, then we become immune. God is always with me. God is always protect me. Yes, God will always protect us. God's angels are always with me. But when we become too bold humanly, we are outside of that alignment, then we become vulnerable. The dark forces like to keep us out of the alignment very by their thoughts, by their projections. It's like Almora gave an example of a light bulb. When there's a light bulb, smaller bulb, there are, when it rains in India, I knew that a lot of moths, a lot of flies used to come, the flies at night, that, mosquitoes kind of flies that come at night on the bulb. But there's a bigger bulb, then there are bigger, more flies come to that. So the point is this, there's a bigger bulb, there's a more light, more flies of darkness will come to you. When there's smaller bulb, there is fewer flies will come to you. They are attracted by the light. So darkness attracts the light. The more the light you have, the more darkness will be attracted. And that is as simple as that. So we have to make ourselves, it's not that it's something people used to think is a myth. A myth was that when you have more light, the darkness doesn't come and attack you. It is true in that way. When you are in alignment with God, it does not. But that is another point, is that you have to be mindful that keep your energies in alignment, as with more more attunement with I am that Moya. I send everyone something we have posted on also a 5-minute clip from El Moria's dictation from 1986. He talks about the same thing. He says, when you do your decrees, be mindful. We have a will, have a will, but he also calls it desire. Have a desire when you do, and when you have more desire to become God, desire, then you are protected. That's what he was saying with I am that I am. Okay, I'm going to read. Be mindful that your Sunday Master El Moria reminds us to give praise to the enemy. Have you ever thought of that? Giving praise to enemy. Why? For the enemy help us to develop self-mastery, testing the mettle of our soul and forcing us to grow and mature on the spiritual path. Okay, now the next one is developing 3 capital Ds. Mark Prophet said there are none who are not touched by them. These 3 Ds he's talking about. No one is immune from these three Ds. That's what Mark Prophet says. But do you know when they are at work in your life? That is a question from Mark Prophet. Lord Maitreya spoke of the 3 Ds of discernment, discrimination, and determination. Again, discernment, discrimination, and determination. These are 3 Ds from the threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power. Okay, look at the threefold flame there. So discernment comes under the mind. The mind, the God's mind, human mind versus God mind. It is the yellow ray in the middle, threefold flame. Discernment means, what does it mean? My human mind, God's mind. The lower mind is called the human mind. I think we talked about in the etheric quadrant when we were doing that. There's a lower etheric mind, there's a higher etheric mind. The lower etheric mind is the human mind that is polluted. The higher etheric mind is God's mind where it is not polluted. So that is what we have to use. Common sense is another way to look at it. Discernment. Should I go? Should I not go? Should I do this thing? Should I not do this thing? Should I analyze or should I not analyze too much? Discrimination is second one. It's a heart. It is a pink ray. It is a pink ray. Discrimination is not a humanly discriminate against that particular quality. The heart has it, that pure heart has that quality of discrimination, whether it is of light or is of darkness. So as mind has another virtue of discernment, heart has a virtue of discrimination. Then comes the determination after that, the will, the human will versus God's will. So there's all human, you can say human mind, human heart, human will. God's mind, God's heart, God's will. We have both of them. And we have to use connected with threefold flame. That's why we do the decree to threefold flame, 20.03 that we always do. I'm going to continue. Discernment is when we know the spectrum of strategies and recognize them in our lives. So we have discernment is when you have a spectrum, means more than one strategy. Should I go this way when you're driving? Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Traffic hoga. Is more traffic on that one? It's a rush hour. It is a road under construction. This is that. So you kind of look at all those, all those spectrum, all the possibilities. This discrimination is when we perceive which one is at play. This is when you figure out that, oh, this is this is going to be, the road is under construction, the weather is going to be bad, snow coming, rain coming. Maybe this is so I have to really use this longer way is probably better than taking the shorter way because of all those uncertainties of the weather. So then the third one is determination, when we resolve to use this knowledge to overcome the darkness. So then then you drive your car, okay, I'm going to take this option, this strategy, then you work at it. So these are the three strategies of 3Ds to work with your threefold flame in balance. It will take discernment, discrimination, and determination, because these strategies can be subtle. Please make a note of that. These can be studied. So we have to be attunement again. Attunement makes our mind and our heart and our action be taken very clear. The weaknesses in our psychology can leave us vulnerable to these intrigues. So that's why this psychology is another thing, how we look through them. Again, psychology is a prism, is a lens, is a pair of glasses that you are looking at these 3Ds. Look at that way also. So psychology is how the soul is looking at color glasses or plain glasses. When you're color glasses, your psychology is not transparent. When you have when you have clean glasses looking through the plain, then or clean prism, we are looking at it very as it is. So that is another thing. So what can we do? Number one, constantly recognize the strategies of darkness. Number one, discern when they are at work in your life. Please make a note of this. Third one, discriminate and judge correctly. Okay, so these are the things. I'm going to look at if you have any questions, or I'm going to pause if any questions anyone has before you go on to the next thing. So I look at it. I don't see any question in the chat room. Jay, Poonam, can we give a couple of minutes to anyone has a question? People may not have put there in the
if anyone has
chat
any
room
question,
yet.
they can raise
Let's
the
pause
hand.
for a few minutes and give everyone an opportunity before you go further, because I think this is a topic that requires some deeper insight. In the meantime, I'd like to welcome Akash ji, Belinda ji, Rekha ji, and Nirav ji. Okay, Jay, Poonam.
Sir, if anybody has any question, they can raise their hand.
You can raise their hand in the chat room. I mean, not chat room, in the reaction. I think there's a reaction box. You can put their yellow hand up there, so Jay can look at it. I think okay, Akash Pople, yeah, please go ahead, Akash. Can you unmute him?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Anji, good morning, good evening. Yeah.
Sir, I wanted to ask you about discrimination. So discernment is to identify the right path, and basically not exactly to basically see what is reality, what is right, what is wrong, be able to see the reality. But discrimination, how is it so different from discernment?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Akash. Discernment is kind of very, from the mind. Discernment comes from the mind. Discrimination, we use the word discrimination in a negative sense. We should not discriminate against people, of different color or different gender or different race. So we use it from the level of the human, not discriminating at that level. But in this case, how do you discriminate the strategies? Let's take a case of going to dealing in the work situation. You know, you have a person, you are a team leader, you have some person that is a yeah, you know, some people who are not working, are not taking their job very seriously. Some members are taking your job not very. How do you discriminate? How do you handle that person? How do you deal with the people who are not doing their job effectively? They kind of take shortcuts, or they take long lunch hours, or they take some. What your strategies of what is your strategies of dealing with that? How how do you discriminate? So I think the idea is really, I think here comes the heart, because this is an initiation of the heart. The mind, you can, you know, you can discern that. If you figure out that the person is not doing well, this person is doing well. So you know that. Now the idea is how you use the heart in terms of discrimination. So I think this is a very most important part, the pink pink ray. We kind of we have talked about that under same thing in the different in the last previous workshops also, many workshops. This is very major initiation. So I think here comes is that I think a Sunday master used that teaching methodology, you know, and I think it comes from the pink flume is the heart chakra. Heart chakra is it comes from the heart. How do you speak from the heart? When to speak, when not to speak. And when you speak, how much you speak, how much you say, and you watch your tone, watch your words, and how do you, like a guru teaches from the heart, not from the solar plexus. Solar plexus, when we teach, our voice goes out of control. Discernment is there, right there, and we can shatter the force field, you know, with a screaming voice, or with a voice that is not very healthy. Person may not like that. Person may feel, you know, like a child will not like that when you talk to a child in that tone. So discernment is very easy, but discrimination here comes. Discrimination is really what kind of what voice, what level of voice, what level of, which I'm talking about the tone, what wording, or whether you speak or not speak, you look or look the other way, you know, and then talk to the person very privately, something, you know, not in the group, you know. So I think there are many things that comes here as a teacher, as a guru. But I think most important thing that comes to my mind is this. I think it's this centering in the heart, mastery of the heart chakra. And I think that's why we have the heart meditation from Saint Germain. Heart meditation by, so most people say my heart is pure. People always say that, oh, you can trust me, my heart is pure. Well, they say that, but their heart is, Sunday Master teaching is that heart is not pure always, because it could be pure, but it's not pure, because we see that because our own psychology, we think our heart is pure because I have this and I have that good quality, and I don't get angry, I don't get upset. Yet might be true. Yeah, all thing I'm saying is could be true. So I think the discrimination is really here. The key is the mastery of the heart chakra, and I think it's really the softness. You heard the Guru Ma's voice when she was doing the meditation. I think you probably came. I sent you the meditation also. You can listen to that also.
I'll get to that.
Yeah. So listen to the voice of Guru Ma, and that is the voice that we give when we want to speak in that voice. When we speak to our people when you're team leader, or when we work for others, even, you know, and you have to work in that tone. The tone is very important. It comes by the mastery of the heart chakra. The discernment quality comes from there. That's all I can say.
Thank you, sir. Made a lot of difference. Thank you. Yeah.
I think I don't see anyone else has any hand raised, so I'm going to continue that. Let's go back to Jay, please, where we left off. Okay, what can we do? Let's go to the page 3. Yeah. So we have one. Let me read again. So what can we do? Number 1, constantly recognize the strategies of darkness. Please underline these are 5 points, or highlight them. However, number 2, discern when they are at work in your life. Discern means through heart, through heart. I'm sorry, discern through your mind, discriminate and judge correctly. This is what we talked about there. Discriminate and judge correctly. Heart will be your reader judging them correctly. When you are at peace in the heart, you are in harmony at heart, you will discern them. You will discriminate them correctly. That's my way of. That's why we do the decrease of the. I think this God harmony is another master, Sunday master. God harmony. We have a decrease for the peace. We give the decrease to the peace also. Solar plexus chakra. Number 4, determined to do better. If we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. That doesn't mean that next time we said determination is the one that the third, the blue plume. We're talking about the blue plume here to do better. And then number 5 is counteract them with the strategies of light. So you all put them all one. Number 2, number 3, number 4, put them together and apply them in number 5. A word of caution. This is another thing I think you want to make. This is very, very important, a word of caution. And I'm going to come to that point. I will emphasize that the strategies that we'll be discussing herein are strategies of darkness used by the fallen ones, the false hierarchy, and every little demon and discarnate. Every little demon and discarnate. Continuing, but your own dweller on the threshold or your carnal mind can use them against you too. Your own carnal mind is actually one of the biggest allies of the forces of darkness. This is something that masters have said. Krishna has said about that when he played Krishna's dictation. He talked about that, the dweller on threshold at length. Durga talked about that when he played her dictation. So you can see that why masters are taking so much time we're talking about dweller on threshold in us, because people do not know that. People do not acknowledge that. People do not take it seriously, even they know that. We don't do the decree 20.09 that masters have given us, to counter, to bind the dweller. Okay, I'm going to continue the bold letter, the bold sentence. The greatest mistake you could make is to think that these strategies might not work through you, or that they do not apply to you. I told you that earlier. This dweller is the intellectual mind, the carnal mind, the negative mind is very, very cunning. I won't say smart, is very cunning, very bad guy, like a fox, always looking for something to how to grab the next meal, like fox is always looking for the next meal. Continuing, it would also be a mistake to apply them to others and to assume that this one or that one is a fallen one because they seem to fit the description or have outpictured one of the strategies. So please, if I were you, this is the way. If you want to win this battle against your dweller, become God's self, become who you really are. I am that I am. Om Tat Sat Om. Become the chela of the master with the flying colors. These are the things that you have to be mindful of, that perpetually, constantly, all the time. Okay, now we come to the point. We're going to be, there are 33 strategies. We're going to discuss only 3 today. And I'm looking at the watch. So I'm going to spend as little or as much time on each one of them. And so next Saturday we'll do one, and maybe 3 or 4 more, or maybe as many as we can give, as many as we can do. Not rushing too much, because I'd like you to answer your questions, your comments, anything that's on your heart, because unless we do that, the dweller will be kind of getting bold that I don't have any questions. I understand it. Yeah, we understand it, but also we to find that there's something that may not be, some terminology, some words, some sentences, they may not be as understandable. because a lot of terminology master use are new to us, So that's why we have to give ourselves the benefit of doubt. All questions are good. Please know that all questions that you have, all very good to ask, because we learn from this question. Sometimes the dweller will tell us, oh, that's not a good question to ask, That's a dumb question. There's no dumb question as such. So please know that I'll encourage as many questions as you can think of, of asking. Number one, darkness strategy number one, separation from the body of God. I'll talk about that. Darkness strategy number two, separation from hierarchy. Number three, isolation and aloneness. Okay, the first strategy. The first strategy of darkness is always the separation of man and God. You know that, the tricks, I'm so busy today, I'm this, I'm not, I cannot do, I've been, I'll do my decrees later on. I'm so busy, I'm occupied. So these are the strategies that we'll be talking about, that leads us to separation or our oneness with God, with our I am that I am, with our higher self, with the higher mind, with the, so continuing. The first strategy of darkness is always the separation of man and God. The plot of the forces of darkness is to deprive us of the knowledge of the members of the true body of God, community, which is Sangha, bolte hain, we call it Sangha or community, and the ascended masters, separate from the group, separate from the people, like-minded people in the community, or we call it Sadh Sangat. In Gurdwara, maybe people go there, or people of the same kind of thinking. So separate the person. Like it's I'm going to read and then I'll come back to you. The move that is made against the light bearer is an attempt to cut him off from the line of hierarchy. I see sometime when you see on the YouTube how the lion and or a tiger attacks the herd of whatever the beast. Cows or buffaloes or deer, or so they separate the one that want to attack from the herd, and then and that is the same strategy of dark forces. Separate this person from the group, and then it's easier to attack and kill him. In the case of the lion or tiger or when they attack the beast of attack. So that is something. The line of hierarchy is a line of hierarchy is a Sunday masters, a Sunday master knowledge. We have the hierarchy of the Sunday master knowledge, which we did not have it. I did not have it when I was outside. I knew about the 10 Sikh gurus, and that's all I knew about the teaching, which was very good. But there is much beyond, outside of that. There's a whole hierarchy, bigger. Out of the box of the religion, there is a spiritual hierarchy. So we always think of the religion. I know this is I'm a Sikh, I'm a Hindu, I'm Christian, I'm Buddhist, I'm Jain, I'm this, and we only want to go that way. But outside of that box, so-called box, there is an open air, open sky, open field, open spirituality, open hierarchy of ascended masters, cosmic beings, and your religion is a piece of pie that fits into that very nicely. Okay, continuing, second paragraph. Elizabeth Carey Prophet mentioned that the dark forces often tries to make us feel that we are alone, that no one else has ever gone through what we are suffering. If we are unaware of what the saints have gone through, we become isolated. This is a step to take from us to the other links in the chain of being, which is known as the chain of hierarchy. Now, this is something we all people say. When I was growing up, when I was in my younger years, people used to say that, oh, no one has suffered this pain, no one has gone through this, I am the only one, no one understand my pain, no one understands my suffering, and that is the common theme, people, sympathy. But I think when we talk about the strategies of why people feel that and what is the strategies of light to overcome that, will come to that point. Many other plots of the fallen ones lead into this descending spiral. Descending means going down and down and down. There's an ascending spiral going up and up and up in the light. There's a descending spiral of energy that goes down. There are 33 levels that goes down on the spiral. from the heart, there are 33 levels that go up, including nirvana, including enlightenment. And there are 33 spirals that go down. Down, people feel depressed, people feel alone, people feel people feel sad, people feel decaying, disintegration, sad, and even causing into insanity and all those kind of things, For example, the demons and entities of suicide work to make the one who is suicidal feel alone and vulnerable. So this is this demons, and there are demons of entities and of suicide, and that the depression, that this people feel depressed, people feel like and they feel they get addicted to all those other kind of things, drugs and liquor and all those other things, excessive this and excessive that, and then feel suicidal. Everything triggers that towards that point. Okay, now I'm going to take the one by one, the three strategies. First three strategies. What is the strategy of light? How to overcome the first strategy of darkness that we talked about, of feeling alone, separation from the community, separation from the hierarchy. How do we counteract that? It behooves us to study the lives of the saints, particularly the embodiments of the ascended masters. Learn the stories of those who have gone before us, because they have emerged victorious from the trials on the path. We too can endure and overcome in our own soul testing. Why we say the saints, and particularly the embodiments of the ascended master, we study that. So we always, when I was growing up in my childhood, we used to study the story. We study lives of the saints, different saints like Kabirji, and other saints, in different religions, how they Kalidas, and how they evolved from that point, which help us. But I think here the point is we have something more on the plate. Embodiments of the ascended masters. We have different, many ascended masters. There are many, that, and we know, I think, over thousands of them, or all about 1,000 or around 1,000 that I know of, that are listed in our TSL encyclopedia. So you can go back to Google, put the word TSL encyclopedia. When you come out, TSL, T like Tom, S like Sam, L like Larry, TSL encyclopedia, and go to the search and put in name of the any ascended master. Click name of any Almoria, put the name of Krishna, put the name of we call it Krishna Body ascended master, Lord Maitreya. You can put the name of Sanat Kumara, Kartikeya, name of Chananda. Any ascended master, you can find their past embodiments. I think they're listed over there. That will enlighten you. That will help you, that they also are in human embodiment. They also went through some of the things that we are going through. So we are not alone. That will give you encouragement. Then you can do something more than that. You can call to those ascended masters to help you. I need your assistance. And the mantra to call them is, Krishna gave us that mantra. I am that I am Krishna. Krishna gave a dictation. Other day we played that. He said, what is your name? And everybody in the audience said, name is Krishna. And then he said, yes, your name is Krishna. When he said, then you can say, I am that I am Krishna. I am that I am Krishna. Also, we heard a dictation from Durga Ma. She said, don't you want to be little Durgas like me? So you can say, I am that I am Durga. I am that I am Shiva. I am that I am Almoria. I am that I am Great Divine Ganesh. I am that I am Chananda. I am that I am any master, Almoria. I am that I am. So when you say I am that I am, what happens when you say I am that I am? Then you put the name of that being. What is happening is that the I am that I am means I am in you, and I am in Krishna, I am in Durga Ma, I am in every Sunday master has the same quality of vibration, same quality of light, same quality in Sanat Kumara's causal body. Every Sunday master has a causal body. You have a causal body of light. Causal body is a house of light. Yeah. So we have same quality as they have. We do not have the same quantity. They have a bigger reservoir. As the master has a bigger reservoir of light. We have is relatively smaller, but we can increase that. When we say I am that I am, we are identifying, we are matching, we are you can say superimposing our causal body upon their causal body, and depending upon our capacity, we are absorbing the light from their causal body through our chakras, and then we have to retain that through harmony and peace, and it becomes bigger. So our chakras are cups of light. They become bigger. They become bigger, infinitely bigger. That's what a Sunday Master did. So when you feel lonely, you can do that. You can chant that mantra, visualize that, and you can feel that light coming from their causal body of the Master to your chakras into you, and you will feel uplifted and positive and one with them. So I am that I am Krishna, I am that I am Durga, I am that I am Sanat Kumara, I am that I am Kartika, any mantra that we chant. That is really opens up the door to receive the light from that particular master, to strip us, take us out of the loneliness and depression and negativity. Okay, light strategy number 2. The darkness was, the strategy was to separate us from the hierarchy. Separate us from the hierarchy. So how hierarchy of the masters, the Sunday master. How do we do that? I'm going to read that. There are many ways to reconnect with the hierarchy of light. It is important to take some time each day to consciously reconnect with hierarchy. You probably know what works for you best. Be willing also to discover new ideas or rediscover old ones that have worked in the past. So I think I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I think there are some answers here. There are some simple but effective examples. Number 1, give your praise and decrease. We have been doing that. I think we have a new matrix that we have posted for the next 3 months. Please, if you are not doing that, please go to the call Poonam. You connect with Poonam or Jay or myself, and how you can become a member of the Chananda prayer group, how you can give those decrees for the, but I think we have posted some decrees. If you cannot do all of those decrees, I think there are too many decrees, do whatever you can, but do something. Begin with those decrees, and you will, and the master angel will connect with you to increase your capacity to give more decrees. And this is so give your praise and decrease. If you can give your praise, so praise means you can be giving your own praise. If you feel comfortable doing whatever praise you are comfortable with giving, that give your own praise also. Number 2, meditate on your beloved I am presence. How do you meditate on your I am presence? This is a chart of the presence that you see there. This chart is available. If you have not seen that chart, please go to our website, www.chananda, chananda.org, and we have this chart. Chart of the presence, we call it. So you can explain. The chart is very important. The chart has 3 figures: the top figure, the middle figure, the bottom figure, as I was explaining. So meditate. How do you meditate on your I am presence? Someone asked me, how do you meditate on it? Yeah, I think Almoria talked about in that clip that I sent you. He says spending few seconds with your meditating on I am presence, being with, it will change your life. He says something like that. How do you meditate on it? This is simple as that. You put your attention on the chart of the presence. When you put your attention, wherever your attention is on, there your energy is at. Either you are giving that energy to that where your attention is at, or you are receiving energy from that where your attention is at. I give you example of that. In our daily work, when we are talking to people, we are putting attention on people. We are talking face to face or on the phone. We are talking to someone. However you are talking to someone, whatever, the phone or on a face to face. When we are talking to a person of the lower vibration, or we are talking to a person in a lower vibration tone, again comes the question of discrimination here that we talked about earlier. When we are in that voice of level of discrimination, talking to a person with in a lower vibration, we are in the lower vibration, and we are talking to a person in that tone. We are with a figure eight flow with that person on the phone or on the face to face. We are we are giving our light to that person, and we are receiving the darkness from that person of lower vibration, or vice versa. We can be giving our darkness to that person, and 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 receiving the light from him, the person. So what I'm saying is, when let's look at it both ways. When we put our attention on our I am presence, we are we are at lower level of energy. Our I am presence, the chart of the I am presence, the top figure, I'm talking about the top figure, I'm talking about the middle figure. So you are the lower figure. So you are putting your attention on the middle figure and or the top figure, because middle figure is really your mediator, and the top figure is really the source of that house of energy. So when you're putting your energy on your I am presence to the top figure, you are actually we are at the lower level, and the I am presence at the higher level. So we are actually receiving the light from our higher self. And that's what we want. We want to receive the energy. We want to receive the light, positive light. So that's why that's what the teaching is, that when we meditate, we put our attention on I am presence, and we receive the light from the I am presence, or from our guru. We can call it I am presence, our guru. We call it that as a high, and reservoir of light. Christians call it father. So father is a guru in energy in that sense. Likewise, counter. When you put our energy, not we are on the third figure on the chart. We are talking to someone face to face at a lower level. As I mentioned before, we are in our tone. We are not discriminating. We are receiving the darkness from the person through figure eight. So we are multiplying the darkness with that person also, and we are multiplying darkness in ourselves. So we feel heavier after that conversation. Or इस आदमी से बात करके I am feeling heavier. I should not have talked to that person in that tone or in that manner. So figure eight is another level. Figure eight is a infinite, the symbol of infinity. So when we are talking with a person of a lower vibration, we are in the horizontal figure eight flow, or lower figure eight. The person could be lower than us in the lower plane. So it could be vertical figure eight flow with a person who is below us, or the person may be pulling us down. It's the same thing. But when we are when we are meditating on the I am presence, we are also a figure eight with our I am presence. We are receiving the light through the figure eight flow from our top figure through the heart of the middle figure, which is our Atma, and then we receive it. So figure eight flow, infinite figure, that is how we, when we meditate on I am presence, we increase the light. That is how we reconnect with hierarchy, with our higher self. Number three, take time to reconnect with the Ascended Master, with the mantle of the messenger. We know the Ascended Master, they have we also give the call for the mantles that we have in our matrix of degrees that you are giving. When you connect with the mantle of the messengers, we have all the mantles that they had. And depending upon our capacity of our chakras, we receive the light through their mantles in our chakras. That is a very important thing, to give that call for the mantle of the, with the messenger. Number four, read a portion of the words of the Ascended Master or the message or the messengers. Read a book, or read something of, anything from the TSL encyclopedia or anything, that you can read something of the book on the Ascended Master's teaching, and that will uplift you what you need at that time, or from the holy book or Bhagavad Gita or Guru Granth Sahib, or any holy book like that, that helps you to get uplifted. Number three, strategy of light. Remember to physically connect with the community. Physically connect with the community. That is why I think, remember we talked about the forces of darkness, how the beast, in the jungle, how they want to separate a single animal from the herd and then attack. So physically, when we are not connected with the group, we are vulnerable. So we also should be connecting with the people of the same vibration physically. That's why people go to Gurdwara, people go to Mandir, people go to churches, people go to mosque, and the group, they pray together. Continuing, seek out a friend in the community to talk or for support. Please do that. You can call me anytime. You can call any member of the group, Chananda Culture Society, call to Jay, talk to Poonam, talk to anyone. When you feel a little bit, little bit in need of talking to someone, you have a confusion, you have a question, I am always here for you. Please know that. You can call me on my WhatsApp line. You can send me an email. I have tried to answer every call. I will try to answer every email. It's my joy to do that, to really, but please don't feel shy. Don't think that I'm too busy. Please don't feel that you are disturbing me. These are all thoughts from the dweller on the threshold to you. Don't call him. You're all right. You don't have to bother him. He's too busy, or he's too that or too that. None of that is true. Please know that I'm always here for you. Continuing, take time to reconnect with the community in social activities as well as in decreased services. Social activities are very important, as well as the decreased services we do together. You're doing decrease at home. We do also decrease, some of the end of the cycle, we do decrease together. So in addition, also affirm final three things. Affirm that you are a part of the mystical body of God. How do you do that? How do you affirm that? Visualize vision. Ascended master there's a mystical body means what? Mystical body means that something that your human mind not necessarily comprehends it, understands it. It's a mystical body. As we become more and more of Godhood, we have more and more of light in us. Our chakras hold more and more light. We begin to understand the mysteries of God. They are called mysteries of God because they have coded keys. They are not meant for people they are meant for us and people. I'm saying that when we are too dense, when we are living in the eat, drink, and be merry consciousness, but tomorrow we die. A lot of people live day to day just for whatever reason. They have no time for thinking beyond why they are here on this world, because they have so much karma that they are carrying. So we need to have a compassion for people because they have so much karma that they are carrying. We are, by the grace of God, I want to share with you a teaching here. By the grace of God, we are together in a Sunday message teaching. Why? There's a Sunday message teaching is that when we have balance, when an individual has a balance, 25% or more of the karma, 25% or more of the personal karma, then and only then that person can understand some of the terminologies of the Sunday message teaching, like I am present chart we explained that, what is it, the violet flame, name of the Sunday masters, or other teaching that we use about that strategies of light and darkness, coming to workshop with the Sunday masters. Other people, when they do not have balance, that 25% of the karma, it does not ring a bell in them. They think, oh, nahi, kuch nahi hai. I don't know, I'm happy, but so we need to have a compassion for them. What happens between 25% and 51% of the karma? That is our goal. When we have balanced 25% of karma, we have to balance more karma up to 51% that we can balance through this means, understanding the strategies of light and darkness and doing decrease, doing everything else, that the strategies of light, how to defeat strategies of darkness, etc., etc. We balance. So we could be in somewhere between 25 to 51%, or even more than that. You could be between more than 51%. Why I'm mentioning 51%? Because when we balance up to 51% of karma, thanks to Saint Germain, we can make our moksha, we can make our ascension in this life. We can balance remaining 49% of the karma from the level of being a Sunday master in heaven. You still have to balance that 49% karma, but you do not have to reincarnate. People tell me, when I was growing up, they tell me, oh, next अगले जन्म में देखेंगे, next life will balance. I'll come back next life. A Sunday master says, don't procrastinate when you have opportunity. This life, this body, you do not know. We do not know next life. But this is a dweller playing the games with us. They say next life, tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do next life, next year. आज नहीं. So this is a dweller is very, very cunning, as I said, and energy, and that works with the dark forces. That's the main thing. So please know that this is the reason why a lot of people with, they don't show any interest in ascended master teaching because they, but whatever reason, we are not judging them. They have not balanced yet up to 25% of karma. So every soul is given 3 opportunities in this life, to come to the ascended master's teaching. I say angels come and tap on their shoulder, like mine. They tap on my shoulder. I do not know. That was my first time or second time or third time. You can say the same thing about yours. Some of you might know that. But after the third time, the angels leave us alone. They don't bother us. They don't force us. Ascended Master said that. So we have this, while we have the light, we want to make most use of it, So now I'm going to the number 2. Refute the lie that you are alone or apart from God. Refute the lie. You are not alone. The word alone is all one. A-L-O-N-E. Alone is all one with God. All one with the right vibration with God. All oneness with God in the nature and in the creator. Then that God is in the nature and God is in the creation. So we are sons and daughters of God. We are everywhere in the consciousness of God, but we have to work on the right vibration to be there. And that is our goals. But the lies that you are alone, nobody is with you, nobody is taking care of you, nobody is calling you, you are going into depression, this and that, and then disintegration and depression, and that decay, and then death, and everything else follows that. So this is the tool of the dark forces to make us feel lonely. Lonely is a bad word. Alone is positive word. Lonely is a bad word. I'm lonely. I'm feeling lonely. Don't use that word lonely. Use the word positive. I am alone, but I am all one with God. Number 3, affirm that you are a member of the community of the Sangha. You are the member of what is the community? Community of the Ascended Master Chelas, community of the Great White Brotherhood. Great White Brotherhood is an organization that includes Ascended Masters and their Chelas. We are the family of the Great White Brotherhood, together one with the Masters. We all are part of that family of the Great White Brotherhood. Sangha, you might not have known that. Please go to Google, go to TSL Encyclopedia, and put in the search column the word Great White Brotherhood, and you will find that. Okay, so there is a YouTube clip. Jay, can you play that YouTube clip just I think it's very good. We still have little time on the clock, so let's play that. I think it's very nicely done. I sent you that YouTube earlier on the WhatsApp, but you can also go to YouTube and find it on the YouTube.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Ascended Masters 101, where we talk all about the teachings of the Ascended Masters. Today we are going to start a new series about one of my very favorite topics, the strategies of light and darkness. The reason I love this topic so much is because it is like the spark notes that you need to win in the chess game of your spiritual life. Let me explain. So we all know that we have a higher self and a lower self. Our higher self is the part of ourselves that is joyous, inspired, connected. Our lower self also called the shadow self or the carnal mind or the dweller on the threshold, is the one sitting across from you on the other side of the chessboard. It's the part of yourself that is bent on tripping you up in your spiritual life and keeping you from making spiritual progress. As I explained to my 4-year-old, it's like your little me. And this little devil is super devious. He literally has a bag of tricks or tactics that he uses to trip us up over and over again. And we have fallen for this same bag of tricks time and again. In fact, the Ascended Masters have told us that these tricks have worked so well on us that these devils have not needed to come up with new ones for thousands and thousands of years. So these strategies of darkness are ancient and they are effective. They work so well. So let me give you a quick example. Let's say your higher self impresses upon you that it's time to start taking control of your life, and so you decide that you'd like to start meditating to bring some peace and some mental clarity into your life. So as you sit down to meditate, suddenly some recent unsavory thing you did or some jagged negative thought or word flits across the screen of your mind, and it sits there ugly in front of you, and it stains the sense of purity and holiness that you are trying to build. So somewhat unsettled, you try to ignore it and focus back on your meditation, but it won't go away. And a feeling of unworthiness starts to seep in. And almost without realizing it, you begin to feel isolated and dejected and disconnected from that sense of oneness with God that you were trying to create through meditating. So you think, what am I even doing? I have so many flaws and issues. I'm never going to get there. I'm so messed up. Some negative memory then from your childhood suddenly comes to mind, and you start to think about how broken you are and how challenging your life has been. And suddenly you're flooded with all these feelings, and you feel like negative energy is coming at you from all these different directions. It feels like a vice that is tightening. So flustered, you decide that if you're going to feel terrible, you may as well do something useful in the meantime. So you pull yourself to your feet and you trudge over to the kitchen to wash the dishes. And the time that you had set aside to feel close to God has suddenly been turned into a time of dejected pot scrubbing. How did this happen? You feel beaten and you feel defeated, but you don't exactly know how or by whom. Now, this is a perfect example of a 3-point punch with strategy number 5, you are not good enough. Strategy number 1, separation from the body of God, and strategy 30, psychological dislocation. So your lower self will use these strategies by themselves or in little combinations like this to throw you off, to make you do things you don't want to do, and to not do the things that you do want to do. It reminds me of the passage in the Bible from Romans 7:19, where it says, "For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do." This is the battle of Armageddon, the war between good and evil that is being waged within us. We are trying to get to God, but the little devil inside of us doesn't, and will start to put up a whole lot of fuss when you decide to get somewhere spiritually. If you want to learn more about this not self and how to conquer it, I suggest the book The Enemy Within by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. Now, wouldn't you just love to take a look at this Devil's Notebook? Just a quick sneak peek at what tricks are being played so effectively on you. The strategies I mentioned are just 3 of 33 strategies of darkness that are in your Devil's Notebook. Now, here's the fantastic news. You are not alone in this at all. The Ascended Masters are here as our guides on the path back to God, and they tell us about the pitfalls along the way, including telling telling us in detail about every single one of the 33 strategies of darkness. They actually tell us exactly what those strategies are. The book Strategies of Light and Darkness is a compilation of some of these teachings. It's a thin pocketbook that's easy to read, and it gives us a fantastic framework for learning about these strategies and how they work in our lives. So finally, we get to take not only a peek, but a good hard look at the Devil's Notebook and see exactly what tricks he's been using so successfully on us all this time. Not only that, but the Ascended Masters also give us the counter strategies of light. So now we know not only their chess moves, but we also know how to counteract them with our own chess moves of light. Whether the strategy comes from our own unreal self or from an outside source, we will be ready. We will know the enemy, and this time we will be ready. And this knowing of the enemy is really important. We need to know who we're up against and how they beat us if we want to start winning in this spiritual battle. The Ascended Master Lord Maitreya tells us, quote, "Beloved ones, you cannot fight and win the battle of Armageddon if you do not know your enemy." It is as simple as that. It is not enough to know the enemy. You must know the strategies of that enemy, end quote. That's Lord Maitreya, July 2nd. So in this upcoming playlist, we'll discuss all 33 strategies of darkness, as well as the 33 strategies of light that counteract them. And by the end of this playlist, we'll be armed with all the know-how and the spiritual tools that we need to win on our spiritual path. We're going to use the book Strategies of Light and Darkness as our reference. So when my husband and I were studying this book, we thought how fun it would be to make a set of cards based on the book that have fun little illustrations on them to help us learn and remember these strategies and to teach them to our kids one day. So here are the cards. There are 33 of them. On the front is the strategy of darkness, and on the back is the strategy of light that counteracts it. We set up the cards in the same way that the book The Screwtape Letters was written, as if instructions are given from a senior devil down to a novice one. And for the strategy of light, instructions are given as if they are from an ascended master to you or I. There are two characters in these illustrations. Mark is the one with brown hair, and he represents you or I, the spiritual seeker who is trying to find God. Mordred is the one with red hair, and he is Mark's lower self. We made them look similar because both Mark and Mordred are a part of ourselves, the Dr. Jekyll and the Mr. Hyde of our own beings. That is, until we start winning in this spiritual chess game and defeat our devil within once and for all. So let's jump in to reading the Devil's Notebook with the 33 strategies of light and darkness. Before we go, I'd like to say that if you're finding value in this content, I invite you to, if you would like, become a sponsor of what we are doing in this channel to help spread the teachings of the Ascended Masters and make the Ascended Masters a household word. We've built an awesome custom rewards program for our sponsors that delivers regular gifts and tools to support you on your own walk with the Ascended Masters. So to learn more, click the link in the description below or visit kumaracreations.com and click on the sponsor tab. So thank you for watching, and let's jump into these strategies.
So that was Gwendolyn. I think she has quite a few other YouTube postings. You can now go to 101 Ascended Master series on YouTube and find more about that under Kumara Creations. So that is all I have. Also, you can order that book, 33 Strategies of Light and Darkness. I had put the link there on the bottom of that handout that we sent to you. So it's come from Barnes and Noble, and I think that is a portal that I found they have it available. If you want to have that book, that'll be very helpful to you. So having said that, let me see. I think we're coming to the question and answer from anyone. So Jay Poonam.
Ji sir.
Okay, let's open up. I think we have 15 minutes. You can have any questions from anyone. You please raise your hands, or you can Poonam can come to you, or if you have no question, that you can say that no questions, and any comment, any question, all yours. Poonam.
ओके सर. जेपी सर, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है?
Can destiny be changed by the invocation of the violet flame, and prediction and prophecies can be averted?
That is destiny. I think masters, I'm not sure if I can answer that destiny, but if I can answer it in the context of prophecies. If prophecy are related to destiny, then I think I can, masters have said that the prophecies can be averted, prophecy can be mitigated, prophecy can be changed. If the prophecies are connected with the destiny of one's life, personally at that level, destiny, prophecy could be two ways. Prophecy could be personal, prophecy could be generic. I'm talking about the prophecy in this case as personal level, I'm connecting with the destiny of a person and prophecy of a person. So masters have said about the prophecy that prophecies are given as a line on the water. You can draw a line on the water which can be erased. It's not a line on the stone, that can be permanently etched. It cannot be erased. So I think, yeah, in that context, if I say that destiny can be destiny is connected with prophecy, then destiny can be changed. But in the bigger context, destiny, what is the meaning of destiny? That is another question. Destiny, masters have said the logo is, we have a destiny, not dust. Destiny, not dust. You might have heard that. Destiny is a divine destiny. We are sons and daughters of God. We are meant to become gods, yeah, as ascended masters, as gods, free beings. So in that context, when you look at that, so we have a destiny. It cannot, it can be, it's not a dust. Dust means that it's not a human level kind of thing, and eating, drinking, and marrying and dying, tomorrow, eating, drinking, and enjoying for tomorrow we die. That kind of, it's not the human level of thinking. So yeah, but sometimes by the free will choice, wrong free will choices that one makes, that destiny can become dust. I'll say in that context that destiny can be lost. The person doesn't become always meant to become God, because a person make bad choices, wrong choices. And that's what we are talking about, the strategy of light and darkness. The strategy of darkness will try to thwart the divine destiny of a person and make sure that the person does not become God. He becomes he wastes his life, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, in human entertainment and so on and so forth. So that is in that context, destiny can be, the divine destiny can be missed, but the divine destiny can be lost. Human destiny can be embraced by many people are doing that. And fallen angels work with the strategy of darkness. We dwell on threshold. They work full time, 24 hours a day on everyone, through foods, kind of exercise, kind of diet, kind of water, kind of air pollution, kind of entertainment, kind of mobile phone, kind of chattering. Almoria talked about that, kind of YouTube, kind of television, kind of, you name it. All those are the strategies of darkness to thwart the divine destiny into human self. So I think that's my take. Jay, you want to add something to that, my friend?
Not sir, no sir.
Yeah. So that's all. JB Sahab, I think very good question. This is much to that subject to be added, but I think for now, I think I'm going to say that only that one comes to my mind to share with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you
Belinda ji, आपका क्वेश्चन है?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Please,
So
good
thank
evening.
you for this session. It's really enlightening. I think I'll have to listen to it again to understand and ask more questions later. But for now, I would like you to just elaborate. You said that we are given 3 chances in each lifetime. and after that the angels, it's like you said, they tap on us and then they give up. So can you shed a little more light on that, and how do we understand, I mean, for me, I feel whatever the things that have happened, I feel for me personally that I probably have, chosen that. But God forbid if ever it happens that I slip, how do I know that I have not lost all my three chances? Like, just wanted to, if you can elaborate a little more.
Yeah, I often wonder about that too, Belinda ji, about myself, whether it was my first chance or second chance or third chance, but I think I never asked that question to my higher self, please tell me that. And but I'm sure if I would have asked, I would have gotten the answer. Ask your higher self. I think the good thing is to your higher self is your conscious, your atma, your sixth sense, we call it. We call it conscious, my conscious. People use that word conscious, my conscious, my real self. So I think the answer is within. There is no outward. A lot of communications like that are mystical. That's what master called it, word mystical. A lot of teachings are mystical. We begin to understand and God gives us the answer. Sometimes God gives, when I say God, I'm saying our higher self as God, our mind. But we always, I think good thing is to ask the question, have a dialogue, get a habit of having a dialogue with ourselves, And when just like we're talking, talk to your higher self. I do not know. Can you help me with the answer? And then be ready to have the inner ear open to listen to that. Like when you ask a question, you know that you have asked a question, to your higher self, and you're waiting for an answer. So be in a mode to be receptive mode to receive the answer. So I think this is why I cannot give you more, I'm sorry, more than that, because I do not know the answer myself. It's a very, very, as I said before, I think the angel tap you. In my case, in my case, I was looking for a job long time ago when I was young here in America. I finished my college and I went for an interview. And the guy who interviewed me, he happened to be a member of the Summit Lighthouse. So that's how I
Okay,
came.
that's beautiful.
So that's
Yeah.
how it happened to me. I do not know. Before that, no one came to me. So maybe that was my first chance, I guess I can say that way. Yeah.
Okay. So and how can we be be instrumental? I mean, I don't think anyone individually has that power, but when you have your loved ones, and you want them also to experience what you're experiencing, then what is it that, I mean, we can do from our end, other than decreeing? Like, I know we pray and we say our decrees. So I mean, so that they also become aware when about their chances. It's you. I mean, I hope you understood what I meant.
Yeah, I let me see if I understand correctly. Let me try to answer it. And please let me know that if I'm on the right
Yes,
track.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah, in my family, by the way, it's most families of the people, they don't believe in what I'm believing. My family doesn't believe in that. So how do I answer? How do I handle that? That's what you're
Yeah.
asking, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I pray for them, and I hold the positive. Like Mother Mary called it immaculate concept. I think, I don't know whether you know that word. Immaculate conception is a word that is used by the Christian in a different context. That Mother Mary conceived Jesus immaculately. That is not the right interpretation. Immaculate concept is holding the pure thought for everyone as a thought form in your heart, in your mind, and then people will fall into that. So you're sending them positive vibes. That's what you're
Okay.
saying. You're
Okay.
sending a positive energy to your family, praying for them, but holding a positive thought form. Thought form is like a matrix that you hold from your family, that one day they will be doing the same thing by God's grace. What you are doing, they will find. So sooner or later, it's like a thought form of a abundance. People who thought form. I want to have a big company. I want to have a big showroom. I want to have a big
Hmm.
a business like that. Then they have a thought form, like my thought form looks like a building we have many people coming and going, and I'm sitting there, and gold is falling into my hand. So it's like a picture, it's thought
Like a
form.
visualization. It's like
That's
just
true.
like
That's true.
visualizing. Okay.
That's
Okay.
true. That's true. So it works both ways, Whatever you hold thought form, that spiritually or materialistically, according to God's will, it happens. You precipitate that in your life.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
सर नीरव जी का कोई क्वेश्चन है?
Anji, Neerav ji, very nice of you to have you, my friend, for the first time. Very happy to. Please go ahead.
Namaskar, Sarji. I ask only one question: how I connect the Divine Master and found in life path blueprint is who I am, what is my role in life, and how help him.
That's a very good question. Again, I'll just give you a small answer, short answer. How you connect is I just speak for myself, how I connected. I was looking for something genuine in life, that is really true purpose of life. I was yearning. I was going from place to place, different places, social functions. I went there, and I was led to, as I said before, to this organization. And then I came to that point, my same question: how do I connect with the Ascended Master now? So it's a journey. It's a yearning of the soul. You are here today. That's your first step. And what I encourage you, tomorrow we'll be talking about Sanat Kumara, Kartikeya, and I think his vibration. So being in the vibration of these meetings like that, and studying the master's teaching, like in this case, Sanat Kumara's teaching. I know you are very close to Sanat Kumara. So you're reading his teaching, reading about him. I think you can go to TSL Encyclopedia, as mentioned to you, and put the word Sanat Kumar in that search, and also pray to him. Pray to him, Sanat Kumara. He has brought you this far today, and he will lead you all the way home. Ask him that you are not going to leave his hand, Sanat Kumara. I want to know all the questions that you ask me. You ask him, and through your higher self, he will be answering to you, and he will lead you all the way home. I'm telling you my story of 45 years of journey. It started like that. I was searching, and I did not know where I was going, and I prayed to God. I was crying, and then I came to I think I told you a friend, and then he told me about it. Then I did not understand a lot of teaching. I said, they are too difficult. I don't understand them, but I did not give up. That's one thing. Please don't give up, and ask Master that don't understand, that you don't understand, help you to understand. But take baby steps. If you have to take baby steps, don't go too fast, because I've seen people sometimes go too fast, and they trip and they leave. So it's like always slow and steady wins the race. But ask all the questions you have asked me. Ask your guru. Your guru is in your heart. Your guru is your I am Om Tat Sat Om. Your guru is Sanat Kumara. Your guru is all the Ascended Master in your heart. But you have one particular sponsoring guru, Ascended Master. And you have to ask him, who is my sponsoring master? Who's my sponsoring guru? You will get all the answer gradually, not at one time. But don't give up. You have been led to the fount of water, bountiful water, Amrit. But you have to, because you worked very hard. I worked very hard. We all worked very hard to come to this point. We have to be grateful. And it's a God, you have brought me this far to the fount. Let me drink this nectar, sip by sip, and help me to digest it. Help me to assimilate it. Help me to become it. Help me to help others, what you have given me. I think that's my answer to you, very generically, but we can talk about it again in future workshops. Please do attend tomorrow also.
Hannah,
thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Divine thanks.
You're welcome.
Hannah, do you have any question?
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Anji, you're welcome, ji.
Okay, do you have any question?
No, I don't have any question for now. No question. I'm okay.
Raneji, do you have any question?
Yeah.
No, not really. It's been quite clear. It's a beautiful session. I really wanted to attend it. I mean, you know, the dark and the light always fascinates us because it's constantly in our lives and the struggle is going on. So thank you so much. But I'm going to read it tonight properly and then tomorrow come back with whatever I feel I will need to ask you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for attending. Anyone else? Alkaji, did I answer? I think your question yesterday was last week was hierarchies of darkness. So I hope that was answered today. Hierarchies of what are the hierarchies of darkness?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay.
Sir, it's done.
Okay, I'm looking at the watch versus it's time to quit also. I'll make a sealing invocation on behalf of all of us. Please do attend tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sanat Kumara. Very beautiful dictation, discourse. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation about Sanat Kumara. Beautiful meditation on Sanat Kumara. You will love it tomorrow. Sanat Kumara is Kartikeya, by the way, and other names that I've researched on Google. So you will like that with pictures, nice presentation. Let me have invocation. Please close your eyes if you like to. O God Almighty, beloved Lord Maitreya, beloved Sanat Kumara, beloved Gautama Buddha, O beloved Sunday Master of the hierarchy, beloved seven archangels, beloved seven cosmic beings, Elohim, beloved Bodhisattvas, beloved Babaji, and Anascended Master of the Himalayas, beloved Lord Jesus, beloved Mother Mary, beloved Guru Mahan Lanelo, we are so grateful for your enlightenment on this subject of the strategies of light and darkness and how we assimilate and overcome and become a warrior of the spirit in our own being first and then help others to overcome this the battle, win the battle of Armageddon within and without. Beloved Archangel Michael, please take us to the Ascended Master retreats tonight, wherever we are meant to go to our places when our body sleeps at night. Our soul may learn all those questions that we have from the Ascended Master retreats, from the Ascended Masters, all that we need to know. I ask you, beloved Archangel Michael, seal this energy so that nothing of the human or darkness may ever misuse it or misqualify it any way or form, that may be expanded until we become fullness of a lighthouse. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you in the name of Sanat Kumara. Om. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My friend, I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you all. Have a nice evening. Yeah. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jay. Thank you.